It's Christmas time, and it just so happens to also be music video time. And as such, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about a Christmas music video. Well, the video itself is kind of Christmassy. Coming straight from the United Kingdom, I would like to introduce you, the viewer at home, to one of the sovereign country's most iconic characters of the 1990s. And one of the most horrifying.
Apologies, Jack. Mr. Blobby! Oh.
Ladies and gents, this is Mr. Blobby. Now, for anyone unaware of this creature, no, he is not some Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff. Mr. Blobby first entered the UK public consciousness during Series 2 of the BBC evening show, Noel's House Party. First, as part of the prank segment Gotcha, certain segments had Blobby be perceived as an already established kids show. And from there, he was used to prank celebrities. With host Noel Edmonds in the costume.
I don't believe it.
By the time these segments premiered, Mr. Blobby became a mainstay and a recurring character for most of the show, later being played by Shakespearean actor Barry Killerby. And he ended up becoming a delight to some, and for others a total nightmare. To say the least, Blobby scared some kids, which leads to a rather amusing moment from the Big Fat Quiz.
I hated Mr. Blobby when I was, like, he terrified me more than anything else. Like, he looked like a fat, jaundiced baby. Like anyone would find that amusing. Blobby is evil. Hello! How the fuck were you allowed near kids?
There's also a notorious moment where Mr. Blobby once threw a 6-year-old's birthday cake to the ground during her party, which resulted in the kid's father beating up the pink blob.
Did you just punch him? Punched him!
Not something you want the character to make the news for. Despite being destined to become the source of childhood trauma, Mr. Blobby and his erratic behavior was very popular in the UK, which resulted in merchandising being made of him. Toys, egg cups, condiment shakers, pink lemonade, towels, video games, failed amusement parks, and so on. In 1993, the creator of Mr. Blobby, Michael Lego, who had final say in what products can be made of his character, received a phone call asking if he was interested in a song be made about his creation. I rather grandly said we'd only consider doing a single with Mr. Blobby if it's going to be Christmas #1. He said, "You're on." And with that bet, a song was made about Mr. Blobby. An entire album was made, in fact, containing such tracks as Old Mick Blobby Had a Farm,
That farmy had a frog, Blobby, Blobby, Blob,
Mr. Blobby's Loony Bathtub Band,
Blobby dangled in the dell, daubed with clotted caramel.
Blobby Locks and the Three Bears,
he said.
and of course we had the titular song Mr. Blobby right near the end of the album. And what this musical composition brought upon the world, so did a music video to accompany it. And God help us, it sure did. I don't remember how I stumbled across this video, but when I began watching it, the opening definitely made me think I was watching some sort of science fiction video. Really had no idea who Mr. Blobby was yet, so once the music kicks in, Mr. Blobby is taken to the Blobby factory for its opening party. Not sure what a Blobby factory is. Do they make more Blobbies? Anyways. Surprising no one, this song is not good at all. As Lego put it, when the Blobby single was released, I think that's when people who didn't already hate me for creating Blobby filled the rest of my wax doll with pins. And if you think this song is bad, you're not the only one. Since its release, it has been considered one of the worst songs of all time. Or at least be considered the worst song ever. And for good reasons. This song is fart sounds. Literally, fart sounds open the song, and it goes downhill from there. It's so annoying!
no thought too deep, no star too bright, no squeeze too tight, no tail too tall, no cat too cool, no...
And does not sound like a song you hear on the radio. It sounds like carnival music from a very eerie carnival. The lyrics, meanwhile, are just awful.
His philosophy of life will stand through.
It comes off as very chaotic and aware of how novel a song it is, so it does not bother to have much effort be put into it. And the song itself would be fine due to the context of how chaotic Blobby is as a character, but it would only work if it wasn't an actual commercialized release that you hear on the radio. Instead, I'm talking about a song that not only hit on the UK charts, but
Mr. Blobby at #1 in the charts, yeah!
Lego's wish was granted. It was a #1 hit. The single managed to reach #1 in the UK charts on December 11, 1993, replacing Meatloaf's mega hit "I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That," which had been in the #1 spot for 7 weeks. Now, mercifully, it was dethroned a week later thanks to Take That's Babe claiming the spot. Unfortunately, it only lasted a week as Mr. Blobby returned to the #1 spot on Christmas Day, making it the Christmas song of 1993. And if that's not wild enough, it stayed #1 for another week into 1994, meaning this was a #1 hit in the UK for 3 weeks. Good God. Back to the video. If you wanted a music video about Mr. Blobby, you came to the right place. You see clips of the show, Blobby parodying famous music videos like Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love. His family's there to sing along. Oh right, he has a family. And there's a part at the end of the video where Blobby, through the power of magic, proofs off Mrs. Blobby on the spot. I guess this really is a factory that makes Blobbies. It's a bizarre music video, but it's definitely expected for a bizarre character. At least we get to see Jeremy Clarkson being the driver for the Pink Wonder. After the release of the song plagued radio waves, the UK seemed to have learned from their mistake. In 1995, another Blobby single was released, which was more appropriate for the holiday season. Not that it meant it was a good song.
Christmas is here. It's that time of the year.
But it was an improvement from the first at least. Christmas in Blobby Land, however, failed in comparison to the first single, only peaking at number 36 on the charts. Maybe don't release a 2-year-old song as a single then. And by the end of Series 7, Mr. Blobby disappeared as a mainstay in Noel's house party, only appearing on the last episode of the show. That's not to say Mr. Blobby went away. If anything, since the 2010s, he had made a resurgence. He has appeared in many other programs, commercials, music videos, and even as recent as this video, Mr. Blobby will be taking part in the theater production of Peter Pan. I'm not making this up.
And this year, Mr. Blobby is making an unlikely comeback at the Chrysalis Theatre in Milton Keynes as Peter Pan, or in Peter Pan.
Truly, a character like Blobby is still dedicated to the arts.
That was the end of a fine journalistic career.
I would say that this was the oddest song to be a Christmas hit in the UK, but that would definitely have to go to Rage Against the Machine in 2010. But if you want more of Mr. Blobby, he does have a YouTube channel that started being active again. Give it a watch if you're into that. The Blobby music video is on there, so if you can tolerate the song, it's one fever dream you can get into. But until then, happy holidays and thanks for your time.